All right. Here's the schedule. You guys start practice at, let's see, pro starts at 11:30. Went away. There we go. Y'all start at 11:30. There's Friday, Saturday. I'll upload all this to Discord. Here's the track map. I'll switch the background and then I'll upload this on there so that it has the actual road course on it. This one's still on the old one with the grass. Initiation. So you guys should initiate wide on driver's left, no later than the 1 marker, same as the other ones, 3, 2, 1. Here, Kevin painted the white lines like we've done at the other tracks, and then there's also the orange that's on the actual wall, so that should be easy to see. No more than 2 moves, back on throttle quickly with minimal e-brake. Lead driver should get as close to the wall as possible without abruptly making contact with it, and chase driver needs to get in the pocket as quickly as possible after initiation and maintain the line, angle, and proximity. Then you go into outer zone 1. Lead driver should approach outer zone 1 confidently on the edge of the track with appropriate angle set during initiation and maintained throughout the zone. Lead driver should fill the zone entirely and not cheat the line by entering the zone late or leaving the zone early. Chase driver should follow the lead driver, match or better their angle. And then you have the transition, which should be smooth and calculated with no fluidity disruption or momentum variance. For those that haven't driven here, the track kind of crests or crowns over the middle when you go back across. So when you do that transition, you'll realize it. There is the start of outer zone 1. Outer zone 2, lead driver should carry momentum from outer zone 1 and pour on more angle if needed to slow down for outer zone 2. As Reese mentioned in the previous meeting, we want you to get back on throttle as soon as you can to get into that zone. Don't just drag it out and let it float and then get back on throttle once you're in the zone. We want you on it as quickly as possible. Lead driver should approach outer zone 2 confidently in close proximity to the edge of the track with appropriate angle. Yes. We want you to do it by, like in the zone. Like, don't float it. Like, or getting into it, yeah. Like not halfway into it or not a quarter way, but like as soon as you get into the zone. Like,
as soon as you get into the zone, get on throttle. What we don't want is for you to get into the zone, not be on throttle. You're floating into the zone a little bit. The chase driver comes in and then boom, you get on throttle and go. Like we don't want to see that. The moment you get into the zone, on throttle, go. We do understand as you progressively go through the radius of outside zone 2, since that's what we're talking about, there's going to be some variances because the angle changes. But in the beginning, that's where all the problems are happening. That's why we started outside zone 2 earlier, to promote you guys to transition over to the right, line yourselves up for outside zone 2, and then get on throttle and go. Because that's the problem that we've been having here. And that's the same issue that we've had with outside zone 3. All right? So obviously, if there's weather or stuff like that, we'll address it there. But in ideal conditions, you get into that and you start chooching the whole way through. Copy? Yes, specifically. I'm just saying that the issues we were having in that zone in previous years is that people weren't getting on the throttle when they should have, and there was issues, and then we had to make judgment calls. So to prevent that from happening, we're saying now, line yourself up with the zone as you should, and then as soon as you get into the zone, you are on throttle, because it's a long zone, so there's no reason you shouldn't be on there. You know what I mean? Cool.
over here. Go ahead.
Is that being based off of the windshield lights only?
No, we're going to do like we do for everything else. We're going to watch that, but we're going to look at the car, the wheels, everything.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Lead driver should fill the zone entirely, not cheating the line by entering the zone late or leaving the zone early, like we just mentioned. Chase driver should follow the lead driver, match or better angle. Here's an image. You can see, for those that drove here before, there's where the old zone used to start. Here's where it starts now. It's about 15 to 20 feet earlier. Did all of you guys do the course walk before this? Or at least saw it last night or whatever? Okay. Here's the middle of the zone towards the finish. So that's where it crests again. And then you can see about 2 barriers to the end in white is where the zone ends. Then we have the inner clip. Driver should approach the inner clip 1 box committed with appropriate angle. Stay on throttle passing the inner clip. That would be your trailing front wheel. So that should be through the center of the box. Chase driver should follow the lead driver and match or better their angle leading up to and after interclip 1 by maintaining proximity. And then the transition after interclip 1 should be smooth and calculated with no fluidity disruption or momentum variance. There's interclip 1. We actually painted the white parallel lines black, so hopefully that box stands out a little bit better for you guys as you're approaching it. And then if we need to, we'll try and touch it up as we can. Your question?
Last time when we walked it, it was a little dark for us. What are those white lines that come off the track in the middle?
I don't know.
Oh, those were tire marks because the truck went over the paint. So that has nothing to do with it, yeah. It just tracked.
They kind of start online.
Your tires will,
The truck went over the back, grabbed some paint and just tracked it out.
your tires will cover it in a couple laps. Oh, ProSpec will probably cover it in a couple laps.
No.
Yeah.
Is it the same ideas going into this track as all the previous tracks, where the clip is not where it used to be? The clip is moved further offline, but the box is online, or is the clip itself still in the same exact spot?
That should be the same distance as we did at Orlando.
The base separation from the box to where the clip is at is the same.
Is the same, but compared to last year, the clipping point itself is moved further offline.
You would say the clipping point last year was literally the first line up on the clipping mark or
Yeah.
whatever. This one, it's, for lack of purposes, it's that center box.
Got
in
it.
the middle would be the second.
Where the base was before.
Yeah.
Cool.
But again, remember, trailing front wheel, because trailing front wheel will promote the angle needed to provide space for the chase driver. Not the leading front wheel, because that pinches off the chase driver. Copy?
All right, then we have your transition. Then you go to outer zone 3. Lead driver should carry the momentum from the transition and pour on more angle if needed to slow down for outer zone 3. But then again, be back on throttle in the zone. The lead driver should approach outer zone 3 confidently with close proximity to the edge of the track. Lead driver should fill the zone entirely and not cheat the line by entering the zone late or leaving early. Chase driver should match it better. When you cross the finish line, make sure you unwind, don't slam on the brakes. Also, as you're coming back, if you stay on throttle, don't stay on throttle too long, because you're coming back towards the start line where either there's workers or there's another vehicle already lined up ready to go. There's outer zone 3. And as you can see here, for those that may not have driven here, the rumble strip isn't technically like a rumble strip. It slopes down, so when you drop a tire, it's actually lower than the track. The more you guys dig it out, the deeper it gets. Eventually, it'll get to the point where you're lifting your front wheels up, so be aware of that. And for this track, we're doing 3 tires off as an incomplete. Any questions?
Could you give us an idea, a little bit more of like what you want from a chase car? Like, I feel like it's a pretty important part of the weekend when we start a battle, and I feel like what do you reward more as a chase driver here? Like, I think a lot of battles last year is a little bit confusing of like, you know, some battles are won with not matching angle, some battles are won with angle matching. Where do you want the chase car to be patient, you know? I think it's better to explain that a little bit more in detail.
So he's asking what's the goals of the chase driver. We did it at the beginning of the season. We had the graphic that had the different things and what was equal. I mean, it boils down to not everything's obviously the same, but if you have a lot of proximity but less angle, that's not ideal. You want to be proximity and matching angle. Then again, if you have matching angle but you're not as close, that might be comparative to the two. It kind of varies across the entire course, but it's not like there's one thing you can do to do better. It's a combination of all those factors. So you need to match the angle, have close proximity. Some of you guys will run really close to the car, almost touching them or rubbing them, but then your angle's considerably less than the lead car. So we always want you to be as close as possible, but also match that angle or better it if you can in the chase position.
Okay, so for example, like on the first transition here, you would reward more like a less aggressive transition to set up better into outer zone 2 than a gangster transition on the bumper, and then you modulate a little bit going through outer zone 2 to match angle. You would reward more patience on the transition to make sure outer zone 2 is better from the start.
Yeah, Reese said it, he would reward more accuracy. I guess, again, you're picking one point of the track, not the whole thing. I mean, depending on what you do for both of those things, how does it affect the rest of your run? Like, let's say you're super aggressive on, like, even last round, people would be aggressive on initiation, but then kind of fall off and not be able to maintain it the whole way. Then other drivers could initiate right up on that door, that lead car, and stick with it the entire run. And then you have other ones who kind of laid it back a little bit, but would eventually close the gap when they got through outer zone 1 and then run the rest of the course really close on their door. Again, it's still going to be comparative to what the other car did. So
Yeah.
I can't give you like one solid answer and say that's ideal unless you can do everything that's on the entire course. And then if you do that, then it's kind of like doing the perfect lead run. Obviously, nobody can beat it. So if you can initiate on their door and do it and make it exciting and you're matching the angle, you're close in proximity, and you can do that the rest of the course too, then you'll probably win. But if you do that in the beginning and then fall off by the time you transition and then the rest of the time you're trying to play catch up, then that's not really going to be what we're looking for.
And like you said, for this year, right? So the emphasis is more on the lead run as well. So it really depends on what the lead run does. So you should never lose on your lead run. One of the things that I took away from last time in Atlanta, people were coming off that lead line, just scraping the boxes. That's what we don't want to see. So you should be very deep in it. And then the second thing is coming to an equation, what you said, how close you can be to that lead run, to the leader. But you shouldn't lose on your lead run, because that's what happened a lot last time.
Okay? Any other questions?
I know one thing that I get asked a lot is I get people that say, what is better? And I'm just going to say this so you all see this, where you guys say, hey, what's better, this or this? It's the same. It's an error on both parts. So if you come up to me like, oh, well, I was like this and he was like this, I'm like, okay, you guys are, if I'm just going to focus on that one thing, it's a draw. One doesn't have proximity, one doesn't match angle. It's an error. You guys understand that? You guys want me to say which one's better than the other. Neither one is. It's the same thing. Both of them have an error inside of that. So it's the same. So if you guys have a perfect run and that's the only difference, it's a draw. So you can't say, oh, this one's better. Just because you have proximity, you're not matching angle. I could care less. You cheated to get that proximity. Rotate, get matching angle, then close proximity. That's the business right there. All right, so not one's better than the other. It's an error and an error. Is that understood? Cool, thank you.
So coming out of the first zone into the second zone, how you guys kind of extended the box. When you guys want to get into the zone, you want to put your outside rear tire to the beginning of the box on the outside edge, correct? Not onto the inside edge, leading in.
So he's asking where we want the tire for outer zone 1 when you go into it. So yes, ideally we want your rear tire to be here. Not here, here, to fill the zone. Same for all the other zones as well. Worn out.
Because we extended outer zone 2, are we worried at all that the transition, the distance on track between the two transitions is going to be too short, that it is going to be like a awkward, rotate the car kind of quick in a short amount of time versus a smooth, fluid transition? I'm not saying that's what's going
Right.
to happen, but is there a worry?
No, it isn't a worry, and the reason for that is because in past history, everyone would take a shallow line deep into that zone. The people that did it right, and these are videos that we took from Pro Spec and from Pro, the guys that would line up early, line themselves up with the zone, and then fire off, did it the best. And this is where we pulled it. So if these people were able to do it like Osbo, we pulled it from Osbo, Connor, he also did it as well too. We're like, look, there's people that are able to do this. And I get it. You guys want to hurry up and try to get into the zone because you're trying to create a gap. This is forcing you guys not to do that. This is forcing you guys to drift. Have the angle, load up your car, switch, set up your car in transition with the angle, and then fire off and go. That's what we're trying to promote. We're just leaning on the drifting. That's all it is. We don't want the low angle, try to do a burnout like drag racing. We don't want that. All right? It's you set over, you set yourself up, you have angle, you fire off, you do it like an honest driver. I like how you smile. Good. Any other questions at all, Adam? Sure.
If you're in the chase and let's say you're going on the new line that you're talking about right here and you're doing everything right, but let's say the lead driver, which you don't know is gonna go to the old line, right? Let's say they get into the zone like really late. Your whole run's pretty much gonna be over as a chase because you're gonna be stuck in their smoke trail, they cut you off. And I just guess I asked for you guys as judges to be mindful of that because it'll basically throw the whole run away.
That's exactly why we did that. So if a lead driver does do that, it's even amplified even more that they cut a huge portion of that zone out. And we'll be able to be like, look, man, you cheated right there. Another question in the back, I think I saw, or Jeff Jones? I feel like this is Jerry Springer.
Hey, so maybe a longer question, and we don't have to get entirely into this, but this is our only meeting, right? So you just said it. You watched videos of guys doing it in the past that were great. Right now, we don't have qualifying to go over what was awesome this weekend. And we don't have a video. You guys started showing us some videos of the ideal qualifying line and the ideal lead line. Right now we're going off of what you're verbally saying. There are so many different ways we can take the transitions not in the zone areas. Do we transition early, late? There's so many things that are vague in that. And so, and this is two things. I wish you would show a video of what your ideal lead is and show videos of ideal chase things so that we're not constantly on the wrong side of thinking what you meant versus now realizing, oh, you meant this, wasting 2 laps or 3 laps or whatever it is to get to there. So just like a video, whatever's already in your mind right now would have probably answered a lot of questions. So that's just more an opinion. Secondly, because we don't have the opportunity, I want to know, when will we maybe get a collective time to talk about qualifying, seating bracket, you know, how this is working out, seating points, you know, like we don't have to do this now, but would love to get into that at some point on.
When they do the quarterly calls?
Yeah, so is that scheduled? Is there a plan for that?
I think that's going to be something like discussed with like, I guess the head honchos. I'll be honest with you, like, I don't really care. Like I'm here about the battles. So like, if they figure it and you guys end up doing qualifying next year, like, all right, cool, we're down.
You're about the battles, but some of us have battled each other over and over and over. Some dudes in seating bracket are, you know, they're not
No, I
ranking up
hear
a
that.
bunch of
And
points.
I hear
but
what you're
points are
saying, like, hey,
happening.
there's a lot of ways of going
So
about
would
it.
love to just discuss at some point
I'm
about all
going to
these.
lean on the fact that you guys are all professionals and you guys can pull off what we're telling you to pull off. Like, that's what I'm going to go off of. Like, I don't think it's that hard to be like, hey, man, outside zone 2, it's starting like 10, 15 feet earlier. Make sure you transition, line yourself up, and fire off. Like, I don't think I'm asking something out of the ordinary. It's a figure 8. You know what I'm saying? So, like, let's be real here. Like, I think it's pretty basic. I think you guys are all capable of doing this. You guys are the cream of the crop. So go out there, just do what we're telling you to do, because I know you guys all can do it. And just do it, and we'll have a fair battle, and we'll be good. You know, like, we'll try to get videos for sure if that's going to make clarity, but I just feel like you guys are all capable of pulling this stuff off, and I don't think we're asking anything out of the ordinary out there.
I think the problem is that because we only have this one meeting, like, yes, it's a figure 8, but we all take this very seriously and we dissect every transition, every throttle pickup, the placement of a car. We get very technical because we're trying to better the next guy next to us. So when we have one meeting and we kind of just discuss the line, and then you guys are like, go ahead, it leaves so many things open to interpretation, which I believe spotters help is very important. But is it possible to maybe get a little bit more insight than, hey, you're not in the zone? Like, we fucking know what a bad and good line is. What we need to know is, do you like our aggressiveness of the transition? Did we actually get on throttle early enough? In the chase position, if the lead driver did this and we found ourselves in this situation, let's talk about the real shit that really wins battles. Because I'll tell you, what hasn't been winning battles is, oh, he's just out of the zone. Like, no one's losing that way anymore. If you win or lose a big battle, it's because you guys watch the side-by-side 10 times. So how are we expected to know how to win a battle if you guys need to watch it 10 times before you decide, when we don't even know what you want?
I think the key factors, like I said, during spotters help, but spotters need to come up to us and ask questions, because usually it's 3-4 spotters that are asking questions. The rest is not doing it. So after battle is done, when you lost, then you come up with questions. That's not the right way of doing it, I think. So come up, we're there.
I think I counted 5 people that asked me last round.
Yeah, more than 5 drivers there, so.
Yeah, it was only 5 drivers that maybe asked me input, so I would say for that, I would say, please talk to your spotters and say, hey, listen, they're up there. We're not going to turn your spotters away. And we'll sit there, we'll look at anything. If they have more in-depth questions on like, hey, how can we improve? Like, that's what we're there for. Obviously, like we said in the past, we can't talk on someone else's driving, but we're there. You know, utilize us for why we're there and ask us all the questions that you want. I mean, we're not going to get annoyed by it by any means. I feel like by you asking us these questions and your spotters asking us these questions will just make for a better battle, more competitive, a better show altogether. So we would say, I think at this very moment, the best way to combat that is have a conversation with your spotter and say, hey, listen, I need you to extract this information from the judges because it's very important to what we're doing this weekend. And I'll be honest with you, I don't feel like we do that enough. Even when I was spotting, we don't get enough information from the judges. I don't know if it's just that we're scared or the spotters don't know what to ask or what, but that's something that you guys got to figure out. Sure. The spotter layout though. But in general, we don't really, I don't see a lot of interaction between the spotters and then coming up to us. So I would say, if that were to change and we were to get more interaction, you'd probably have better results in that aspect. Kevin's saying that we can do a half-hour meeting on Saturday. I'm down for 2 meetings. I'm definitely down for that. I mean, wherever Andy's at, we could schedule that in. I would be down. But he's saying,
How many people want a meeting on Saturday? Like noon on Saturday? There's a meeting at 11:30, ends at noon, we'll do noon, you guys are hot at 12:30. That work?
that's cool. We would ask everyone to come in, even the ones that didn't raise their hand, just out of respect. That'd be great. We'll talk about perspective. We're going to ask them that as well, too, because
One more thing for spotters help. Make sure you come up and ask us before your drivers run. Asking us to look at a video on your cell phone probably won't give you the most accurate information, and it's amazing how often that actually happens. But just tap one of us. We'll look at the other judges and try to get their attention as well to watch your driver. If both spotters want the same run, we'll kind of split it up 2 to 1 or something like that, or try and watch as much as we can. But again, asking us to watch your cell phone and try to critique it isn't the best move if we can watch it live and still have the ability to go back and watch a video after the fact. Bro.
Is the backwards entry thing cool this year? Not cool this year?
I mean, if you can gamble and pull it off without parking the car or sitting up in a bad position, go for it. But again, I feel like it's just like Rotoland and some of the other tracks. You're risking a lot to try and pull that off.
Just asking.
Okay. He wanted to know about backwards entries.
Like, is it cool this year? Is it not cool?
So
this year?
if you think you can pull it off without stalling up or messing up the chase car, then or messing up your lead run, then go for it. But it's a lot to gamble. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but hey, there's always somebody who can pull it off. Go for it. Yes.
If the lead car does pull it off and the chase car has to sacrifice angle, but hold as much proximity as possible because it's impossible to do a double backwards entry basically, how do you reward that?
I mean, chances are,
do you automatically win? Because most people here can set their car up to do a backwards entry just to fuck up the chase car. You know what I mean?
yeah, but if they're messing themselves up to do it, they're going to be doing it, trying to play with it all during practice. So we're going to have to see what they're doing. But honestly, like he was just saying too, like I wouldn't recommend doing it because it's probably a 1 in 100 chance you're going to pull it off and make it work, especially without messing up chase driver. And like you just said, if it messes up the chase driver, then we're going to ding you for it. So I wouldn't do it. I think Matt was next.
Do we think that there's a slight disconnect from spotters' help than when we go start watching replays? Because I will say Orlando's a perfect example. You guys, from spotters' view without cameras, can pretty much just see zone 1, clip 1. After that, we're like kind of trying to guess where they're at clip 2. And at the beginning of zone 2, you got no clue. Middle of zone 2, sure, you have an idea.
It's very possible.
So we're basing this information that we are now like, that's gospel, right? That's the only thing. This is the only way to win is based off of what you tell us in spotters help, but you kind of have no clue for half of the track. I feel like there's no answer here, but that's kind of crazy.
Well, I think what you're hinting at is you want cameras up right from the get-go.
Unless you guys say, no, you know what, you're wrong, Matt. I can see perfectly during spotters help, so what I'm telling you is 100% accurate. Therefore, when I go into judging with cameras, my judging, my view, and what I told you is completely consistent. I feel like that's some tracks, no problem. Some tracks, impossible.
But generally, we do watch live and then watch the cameras for the replay to see what you do possibly miss or whatever. I mean, because here's my thought. If I watch the stream and the stream goes down and I'm watching that live, then I didn't see the run at all. So I always try to watch it live and then go back and watch the replays to see if there was anything I missed or get clarification on something. Because I don't want to put 100% in, even though it hasn't happened, but if the cameras go down, the power goes out, and I'm sitting there watching TV instead of the live run, I miss it and I can't get it back. So I still feel like even though in practice that's what we're doing, that's what we do watching it when we're judging too. At least that's what I do as I watch it live. So not much difference, but I'm sure cameras during practice probably the full entire time would be beneficial, especially for bigger tracks like Utah or something like that where you can't see the entire track as easily. I think Odie, did you have it? Were you next? Oh.
Honestly, for interest of time, just give me.
Okay. Next question. I'm sorry?
It would be very helpful to have drone footage during practice if that's what we're also judged on. We never have that reference.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. I don't think Sage is here more. I'll have to talk with them and see if that's a possibility. I just don't know how long it takes for the the team to set up everything and when that will be going live. I mean, assume since we go live today, it might be something they can set up earlier, but we can try and see. I just don't know how long it takes for them to set all that equipment up or when the drone operators actually get here. But we can ask.
Do we want to add the driver's meeting to the schedule from now on the other day? Okay, all right. Then we'll just send that and do that. Then we'll just have it.
All right. Oh, last one. Hold on. You should have put your hand up earlier.
Do we have the same, I forget what you call it, drivers, 4 people helping the whole year?
No, it changes round to round.
And
Right? It's an, oh, it does? Same 3, entire thing? Oh, I thought it changed. Okay. Okay.
so there's been 3 drivers all year doing some kind of help. Have they done anything to help? Has that done anything? I'm curious. Have we learned anything, done anything? Has a wall been moved? Has something happened?
Yes, some things it has come in handy. We didn't do too much here because Reese already did that for the gambler. So we already had this one laid out, so we didn't do anything with that. We're working on St. Louis, a different version of Seattle, another change for Utah, and no. And for LP2, we're still working on a sim map, but I was going to do it with one of those people, but I can't because now I have another problem I have to do. So, yes, we're slowly doing stuff, but it's a different way of that we've done anything in the past. So, just trying to get used to that flow and getting stuff in a timely manner from everybody's hard. So, yeah. No. When a what? As soon as we are done here. Actually, there's a reach out there, a telehandler. Put your front bumper at the telehandler.
We good? Any other questions? Anything at all? All right. Good luck, boys.
All right, all right.